And yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wenz World here on the Male Soap Opera Moment with the one, the only, the wrestling encyclopedia, Vincent Kennedy Booch.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the King in Gold is still here. We went through hell in a cell, and in the end, with a 6-4 stunning victory, the Booch is once again your prediction champion, and it was decisive faction with two matches that we both predicted as they were walking to the ring, because we didn't have they weren't added to the card until by the time they were added to the card, we did the show. So we literally were texting back and forth. Here's your pick. Here's my pick. Let's just go. And I won both of them in like chance fashion.
And here's the thing about that, Booch, this whole texting our predictions thing. I have a strong belief that my phone accidentally, technology auto-corrected. When I typed in Rollins, it auto-corrected to Cesaro. And then the same thing happened. I was typing Z and it thought it was a K. So I was trying to do Zane, and then it auto-corrected to KO. And then my phone slipped because I was eating chicken wings and my fingers were greasy. And then it hit send, and then it went dead. So I didn't have time to text you back. And by the time I found out, you had already supposedly won these matches. But I'm blaming it on technology, and I think I have a point here. Wouldn't you say?
Well, all I can say is this: assuming everything you just said is true, I don't know for sure. Tell you what, hopefully you got your phone fixed, and you won't have that excuse this go around.
Well, it's not an excuse, it's a reason, but we're wasting time focusing on the past. Booch has a good, double digit, maybe even triple digit consecutive pay-per-view lead here in Wenz World, but all of that's going to change because I feel like money. I feel like it's time for Money in the Bank from Dickey's Arena in Texas. Go ahead and insert everything's bigger in Texas joke there, Booch. But it's going to be huge because, look, this is the first time in a very long time that the fans are going to be in attendance. The universe has been allowed to infiltrate, and this is going to play a huge role into some of these matches, Booch, because, as you know, they've been able to pull off a lot of ringside antics, and all of that's kind of changing now, depending on seating arrangements. But I can't imagine the lower levels being, that socially distanced.
They're not going to be. The whole point of WWE wanting to make this return, even though AEW kind of beat them to the punch, WWE was waiting for the right time because they wanted to come back at full capacity. They don't want to socially distance. They don't want awkwardness like that in a building. They wanted to bring everybody back. So at this show, everybody's going to be back. It's going to be full capacity. It's going to be the way it is. So basically now, all the things that they were able to get away with the Thunderdome and the cinematic matches and the pyro everywhere and all the craziness, they've now got to dial it back. They can't be used anymore because now you got a crowd. So now they got it. The wrestlers have to get used to performing in front of a live audience. Now, as far as being in shape, they're definitely in shape because they haven't taken any days off. Very, very few, if any. So they're ready physically. The question is, are they ready mentally? And could the crowd reactions change whatever plans they've been putting out? Because now we're about to find out, how do they feel about the tribal chief? How do they feel about the Almighty? Is the bro as annoying as I claim he is? We're going to find out. Like, these are all real things in real time. So, and obviously we got ladder matches. So there's going to be crazy spots, but they also got to keep in mind there is a crowd now. So we can't blast through the barricade like we used to. We can't really throw people out. Like, those crazy spots got to be contained because now you can hurt somebody.
And I think you brought up something really interesting in that, do the reactions differ from how the writers have been propagating them? Or is RK Bro getting over? Are people buying into the Almighty? And that's a really interesting point, because as of late, the only crowd noise that we've been hearing has been pumped in. The WWE has been doing that with this pandemic. And so now they're back on the road, And what if the boos are actually cheers and vice versa?
Yeah.
That's really going to be interesting because you got to think they're probably gauging a lot of their cheers and boos based off of social activity. But are the same trolls going to be the same people that put up or shut up with their money? Are they going to spend money on a ticket, or are they going to hide behind their keyboards at home on Twitter? Are these the same people? That question, like you said, is going to be answered this Sunday.
Yeah. And that's a key thing they got to look at. Like, how's everything going to play out? Because before they could pump them in, which means that whoever's booked as the heel gets the boos, whoever's booked as the babyface gets the cheers. But we know the WWE universe, that is not always the case. Babyface doesn't always get cheered. The heel doesn't always get booed. It's awkward. So we're going to see that awkwardness back. And for any wrestling fans out there, if you've been watching AEW, you're kind of getting used to that because you're seeing it happen every week there since they've gone back to full capacity, which was back in May. But if you're just a WWE guy and you haven't been watching that show, you're about to be in a readjustment period, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Absolutely. And I think we were talking about Money in the Bank, a briefcase with basically a curse at the top. I know we've talked about this over and over. It's similar to being on the cover of Madden. Booch, we could sit here and talk about all the winners of years past since 2005, right? But if you look at this list, you look at names like Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Damian Sandow, Braun Strowman. A lot of these names are either in the very back of the room or they've gone on to another promotion. So you look at this and nobody's really taken Money in the Bank and propped up their career based off this pay-per-view. That's quite an extensive list. And there are a couple guys that are at the top and descending, and there are a couple guys, on the lower end of the spectrum, ascending. So looking at that spectrum, Booch, who on this list do you think the writers and the creative team are going to push? And then let's also answer the question of who do you want them to push?
Well, when I look at this list, the one guy I would definitely love to see win is John Morrison. I think John Morrison is definitely a main event player. Despite what he's been doing with The Miz, I think he's incredibly talented, and he was definitely a deserving world champion. I think there's a lot of people that would agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I'm worried Drew McIntyre is going to win. I don't want him to. I feel like he's been there already, been there, done that. I would want John Morrison to win, but if I had to give a prediction, I'm probably rolling the dice by saying this, but I got a strong feeling it might go to Kevin Owens.
Wow, I did not anticipate that.
I'm going to say Kevin Owens. I would love to see John Morrison win, and under no circumstances would I want to see Ricochet, Riddle, or Nakamura have that briefcase under any circumstances ever. But I'll go with Owens. I'm going to say Kevin Owens takes the briefcase.
I would love actually to completely 180 your sentiment. I would love to see Ricochet do something. I've been a fan of this guy for a long time. He was gone for a while. I'm not sure what the dirt sheets pull up on that or what was going on if he went to a different promotion. But once they leave WWE, me being kind of a casual fan, I turn it on Mondays and occasionally on a Friday for SmackDown, but that's like the redheaded stepchild of WWE in my view. And of course the pay-per-views, I watch those. But somebody like Ricochet, I'd love to see it, but I think they're really gonna let Riddle win this. He is the ultimate bro. I absolutely adore what they're doing with him and Randy Orton. I think the spot that Riddle did a couple weeks ago on Raw where he wrote that letter and passed it off as if Randy had written it, brilliant. It's so much fun to watch this guy in action on the mic, and he's dynamic in the ring, Booch. I think I sent you a video via text and I never got a response, and it happened to be a video of Riddle winning a match, and I don't know why, but did you get that? You didn't respond.
No, it must have got lost in damn technology. Must have got lost.
See, so you can understand the problems I've been having with a cell phone. So you understand.
Yeah. I think, or if it did pop up, I was having some chicken wings too, and I think my finger slipped and just deleted it. I was like, oh crap, and I couldn't get it back.
Oh yeah, what kind of chicken fingers were you having?
I was at Longhorn, so I had some chicken tenders, and
oh, I thought you said, go ahead, chicken fingers or tenders?
Tenders. Whatever, it's the same thing to me. It's chicken. Whatever.
Interesting. Chicken. How much did those cost?
Usually about 8 or $9, depending on whether or not you get the 6 set or the 9 piece.
Which one did you get?
6. I couldn't go for 9.
Yeah, what was your server's name?
I think it was Casey.
Why do you sound so nervous?
I don't know. It's weird interrogation stuff. Like what? Why are we talking about chicken?
Well, I just want to kind of like get through your lie so we can continue with these match predictions.
Well, then you go ahead. You know I'm making all this up.
Now I do. You just told me. Like I said, love to see Ricochet, but I think they're going to go with Riddle on that. And let's get to the fairer sex here and talk about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Asuka versus Naomi, Bliss, Cross, Morgan, Vega, Natalya, Tamina. Woo, man, lots of talent here. Booch, you went first last time. I am wanting to see Nikki Cross win this match. I don't think it's going to happen. I think she's going to get far in this match. I would love, but I think it's going to go to Naomi. I think Naomi's due. And if they're wise, they don't let her fall by the wayside and just drift away like a lot of these female superstars do. Because I feel like it's now or never for Naomi. Do you agree?
Yes. And I would love to see Naomi win that match. It's no stranger. If you've been a long time listener of the male soap opera moment, you know we are both big, massive Naomi fans.
Yep.
Have been since day one of us working together on the male soap opera moment. Even before that, when we were just talking on Facebook. So we've been fans of Naomi. I would love to see Naomi win. Nikki, I love to see that too. People are hating on the superhero gimmick, but I think she's really embracing it.
I love it.
The fact that she's committing to it is what makes it work.
Yep.
Tamina's another one. I feel like she gets a raw deal because of her dad and his controversy. Natalya, great in the ring. Definitely due for a title. Liv Morgan, not really. Don't hate her, but not really. Alexa Bliss, that's a wild card in there. I don't know what she's going to do, but I don't know what the hell's going on with if she needs a title. I don't feel like she's in a title picture right now. She's just more on the swing playground thing. Asuka, for the love of God, don't give her that belt. I will go insane if she wins that briefcase again. But I got a feeling. My prediction is, I think it's going to Zelina. I think Zelina Vega is going to win.
Wow.
Because I was surprised she even came back because her husband went to AEW.
Who's her husband?
Aleister Black.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. Huh?
Yeah, she's married to Aleister Black.
How about that?
Went to AEW. She came back to WWE, and I was surprised because part of the reason she left was because they wanted to shut down her Twitch account or third-party deals because WWE's against that. But she was making more money doing that than being in WWE. So I don't know if they matched or raised that to get her to come back because if you're going to get somebody who's doing third-party deals to quit them, you got to be paying them the same amount of money, if not more.
Right.
So they probably upped her contract and paid her enough money to where, okay, I can kind of walk away from this.
Yeah.
And fans will be understanding because it's a business move. And also she was talking about unionizing, which we haven't heard since the days of Jesse Ventura. But we all know that even no matter what Andrew Yang says, Senate's not going to care enough about wrestling to try to worry about that. So I guess so she came back. So I'm thinking if they're signing her back after all that BS, they got to be having something special for her. So that's why I think Zelina's winning.
That's an amazing prediction right there with that insight. So this is a match that obviously is in the eye, and that's the WWE Championship as Bobby Lashley takes on Kofi Kingston. I feel like this was just put together quickly, and it just doesn't like make a ton of sense. I feel like they just kind of like made this rivalry up, and to me, I understand that they're waiting for something big. I think it's going to be with Goldberg, maybe later on.
It's either Goldberg or Brock.
Yeah, and I think Goldberg has one more match for 2021.
Yeah,
on his contract, so it's probably going to be at SummerSlam. But if it's not, that's what like it really. If I knew the answer to that, that would help shape my opinion for this and inform that. But with being in the dark on Goldberg's situation, what do you think about obviously the gimmick is dumb. Neither of us are going to love that, right? But is there even a remote possibility that Lashley loses the WWE Championship before SummerSlam?
No, I don't see that. And I feel like this, I will give them credit. They are doing the best they can to create that doubt, because Xavier Woods getting that shocking victory on Raw.
Yeah, that was great.
Really helpful.
Mhm.
And the way they executed it is why I was okay with it. And now Lashley, and then the way Lashley snapped and destroyed the VIP lounge. And I think he's getting his edge back. They realize he's getting soft. They're making that a point. And Bobby's like, oh, I'm getting back to business. So I think Kofi's going to get destroyed. I strongly believe Bobby is retaining this title because, look, the Kofi Mania thing was a flash in the pan. It was a run. It does not need to be, there does not need to be another one. I'm sorry. Kofi, to me, does not cut it as a champion. And it has nothing to do with skin color and everything to do with he's just not a main eventer.
Well, yeah, it's obviously nothing to do with skin color, because you've been a huge fan of Bobby Lashley and other black wrestlers on both sides.
I've preached for Shelton Benjamin to be champion for years.
Yep.
So I'm just letting the fans know. I just want people to know that this is not, it's Kofi's just not over to me.
Yep, on both sides, Raw and SmackDown. Booch has been an advocate for the best wrestler gets the title, and I can vouch for that personally. This is so stupid, and I know they need to do something, but this is a problem. Let's get a little deep here. I'm going to go off the rails just for a moment here. I understand that every pay-per-view needs to have the WWE Championship represented, because if it doesn't, why would people pay $10 a month or whatever it is now on Peacock to watch this?
Exactly.
It's not, but when you put together this, it's like a hodgepodge. That's what I'll call it. It's like a hodgepodge. We need Lashley to defend until Goldberg is ready, or Lesnar's ready, or The Rock, or whatever they're doing. It's like, or Cena. It could be Cena. It might be Cena. Who knows? But it's stupid because they sacrifice dignity, and it's going to have to be a squash match, because you can't, it's not believable to me that somebody that was just tossing pancakes off a plate 3 weeks ago is on the same level as Bobby Lashley right now. And then it's also not believable for Kofi Kingston to win this match. Now the MVP has ditched the cane. So you can't sit here and tell me that if push comes to shove and Bobby Lashley's in trouble on Sunday night, MVP has no excuse not to intervene now.
Yeah.
So you add that element in, plus his entourage getting involved. And obviously Xavier is going to have his place and, whatever, and interference or everything. And it'll come together the way it does. But this match to me is pointless, and it has to be a squash or Lashley loses momentum heading into SummerSlam.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Both of us think that Lashley's going to retain there. Booch, what do you think about the Universal Championship? And this is kind of interesting because, as of late, Edge has come in, he's gave the Usos the business, and now he's going to go up against Roman Reigns. But the rumor mill is that Roman is going to be defending against either his cousin or Cena come SummerSlam. Again, same question. Is there any way, even though Edge is due, he never lost it, and he won the Royal Rumble. Like, there's a lot going on here. What do you think about an opportunity for Edge here to win the Universal strap?
This is the only match where I am completely torn and confused. Out of every match on this card, I am the most confused on this one because I honestly don't know. Because Edge should have won at WrestleMania. Fact. Mm-hmm. Because if you really wanted to tell Edge's story about never losing the title, he made it very clear. Night 2 of WrestleMania was 10 years to the day that he surrendered the world title with the neck injury, and we thought he was done forever. He went into the Hall of Fame a year later because they thought he was done. And then he came back and completely healed up and can now wrestle. So to not have him win that title at WrestleMania, to make it a triple threat match, was one of the worst decisions in WrestleMania history.
How do you feel? How do you think Brian felt about that, being in that match? Do you think he felt like, guys, this sucks? Like, why are you putting me in this match?
He should not, probably not. Because I think on the one hand, Brian might have felt bad because someone was stealing his moment. But Brian's one of those guys that's like, he was listening to going, this could be my last WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
nobody cares, dude.
Nobody cared.
Yep.
You had your yes movement moment. It was done. This was Edge's time. He had a better story than anyone involved.
Agreed.
So it was ridiculous. But now we got Money in the Bank. So I could see Edge walking out with this title. It's a strong possibility. But like we said, he's got either The Rock or John Cena at SummerSlam. And I know there is talk of possibly Cena being the guy to beat Roman, and not only beat Roman, but break Ric Flair's record in the process.
So, do you think he can retain long? I mean, or would he give it up a month later?
I don't know if he give it up a month later, but it depends on his filming schedule. They can work around it. Probably drop it. He would drop it at a pay-per-view eventually. Maybe they could drag it out. Probably not Survivor Series. If he did, he'd probably drop it before Survivor Series. So it would be a month or two later. I don't think it would be a long, glorious title reign.
Right. But
it shouldn't happen fast either. It should, you should get at least one victory as the champion before dropping it. Because in a Survivor Series, you can have the Raw versus SmackDown champion, like they always do. Unless Cena's going to be around for that, which I don't think he will. I don't know but then again, I don't know what his filming schedule is. I know right now he's been filming Peacemaker in Vancouver. So for HBO Max. So whenever that's done, we can see him. He has confirmed he will be back in WWE. He said he's coming. We don't know when he's coming, but he has confirmed on Jimmy Fallon and everywhere else. He will return to WWE. He just didn't give us a date yet. So based on all that, I say Roman is going to retain. I don't think Edge is going to win it.
Man, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to go with Edge.
All right.
This is definitely a winning scenario for me, because I feel like we're not going to disagree on many of these matches. So if Edge pulls this out for yours truly, that would be awesome. Do you hear that? You rated R superstar. Do it for me, Edge. Do it for me. Let's talk a little bit about your favorite wrestler. You know, you talked about her dad a couple minutes ago. Charlotte Flair, ring a bell, going against Rhea Ripley, the champ. Did you just break out in hives when I mentioned Charlotte Flair?
Yeah, I'm sweating. I am uncomfortable. This is why. If I needed a reason to go to the bathroom, here it is. That I don't know why this is here. And the fact that Rhea Ripley got disqualified at Hell in a Cell, there was a disqualification, means why are you still having a regular singles match when the last one ended in a DQ? Wouldn't it make sense if you're going to do this again? Hey, let's take out the DQ option, so there has to be a winner. Gee, that didn't cross nobody's mind in a creative room. The whole purpose of I got disqualified, I got screwed. Okay, well, we're going to take that part out. So now you can't use the DQ, Rhea, to get out of this. So now you actually have to beat Charlotte. It's simple. Simple, right in front of your face. None of these creative people can figure this out.
But we've seen this before. We've seen this before, Booch, where the night of, they add a stipulation right before the match because they realize that they dropped the ball. So I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to be like, this just added, this is a no disqualification match, you know, blah, blah, blah,
blah. I'm going to go with, I have no idea how this is going to go. And I got a lot of bad feelings all around. So I'm going to say Rhea Ripley retains, because I strongly believe that if they want to have a solid women's division, Rhea needs to remain the champion. If Charlotte takes this belt, then it's just going to bury the whole women's division underneath her. You might as well give her the golden shovel, because that's what she's doing, because she's the one burying at this point. So
golden shovel. I love it.
And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. So I'm going with Rhea Ripley.
You know, Booch, I can't understand your disdain for the queen. And you know what? One of these days, maybe she'll have mercy on you in her kingdom. But right now, it sounds like off with your head. But just in case she's listening, I want her to know that I support you, Charlotte. I think you're a great wrestler. And I think that if anything, you probably had a harder road because your dad was an icon. You had to prove a lot more than everybody else did.
Wow.
But this what happened?
Nothing. Just who you pick.
Oh, sorry. You looked annoyed at what I was saying. I wasn't sure if it was me or something you're reading online. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair on this one. I think that she's going to win. And because at this point, they've made it really clear that she's in the title chase for the long haul. And listen, it's a matter of time before she catches her dad too. So Charlotte Flair wins this match.
Okay. All right. So I think we got one more, right?
I believe so. Let's talk a little Raw Tag Team Championship as AJ Styles and as AJ Styles and Omos take on the Viking Raiders. They look very similar, Omos and Joel Embiid. They're very tall fellows.
I don't know where this is going. I don't know too much about it. I forgot AJ Styles and Omos even had the belts because they've rarely been on TV since they won them. And I don't know where this is going to go. I have a feeling that I want Styles and Omos to retain because I feel like you can do a lot with them. But if Omos, for whatever reason, can't work with anybody, or if you're not going to utilize him as the big man, you might as well let AJ eat the pin and let the Viking Raiders take the belts. But I don't know what that would do for AJ Styles to eat a pin from the Viking Raiders. I don't know where AJ Styles fits on the card as far as, is he one of those top guys you don't want to eat a loss to a team that's more of a comedic team than anything.
Yeah.
Or if AJ is the type of guy that he can job to anybody and still look good. I don't know which side of the fence he rides on in WWE. So I'm going to go with Styles and Omos.
All right. So here's my hot take. This is the take of the month, Booch. Okay. This is where the beginning of the end for Styles and Omos begins. Okay. The Viking Raiders are going to win this match. They're going to be Raw Tag Team Champions. And it's going to be something that happens that Omos does or AJ does accidentally that ticks the other one off. And it's about time that Omos starts competing as a singles competitor. He has the size. It would be like taking the Big Show and hiding him in a tag team.
Yeah.
It's like now for Omos, the time is now to establish him as an actual wrestler, as somebody that can get in there and do a couple things. I know he's not going to be that great technically. He's not. I've already seen what he can do so far, but that you can improve on that. And if they book him with the right people and he's working with AJ, so AJ can continue to show him. But I think it's time to start to sever these two to show what Omos can actually do. Because I, for one, would love to see this. I love his character. He can cut a promo. I've seen that now. And he has the size and believability to be a legit heel in the WWE if they book him right. And that's a big if. But I think the Viking Raiders win this match.
All right. That's going to be interesting. So Bobby Lashley is the only one we've agreed on.
How about that, Booch?
Yeah. So we are definitely going to have a winner when this
There's going to be a big winner and a big loser. Okay. And listen, if you're on Team Wenz, you're going to be in the right team. Okay. If you want to side with the losers, the Booch, okay, you can go with the Booch. That's fine. I won't be mad. I love the Booch. I do. I think he's great, but he's not going to be a winner like me.
All right.
That was not supposed to sound like anybody that you may or may not have heard of running this country in the last
4 years.
4 or 5 years. I don't even know what year it is anymore. Here on the Male Soap Opera Moment with the one, the only, the wrestling encyclopedia, Vincent Kennedy Bucci. Follow the man on all the socials. Booch, couple things. One is I'm so excited about this upcoming pay-per-view. Yeah. 2 is have a nice day.
Bang, bang.